This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
This show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails, garner great pet tips, and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Cats certainly put the M in meow and the M in mystery. I mean, if you have a mutt cat like I do in Casey, you may be as curious as, well, a cat, and wonder just what type of feline breeds are in your cat and what's the deal on your cat's health. Is your cat at risk for any genetic health disorders? Well, listeners, guess what? I have some meowvelous news. Our special guest today has found a way to safely do genetic testing and health monitoring on cats. You got cat? You need answers. So please join me in giving paws and purrs to the founder and CEO of Basepaws, the ever innovative Anna Skaya. Welcome to the show, Anna.
Greetings. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, listeners, I want you to call your cool cat over, and you're going to get ready to learn some new feline fine things. And I'm also going to share the results because, yep, I did the Basepaw screening on my orange tabby. You guys know him as Pet Safety Cat Casey, and we're going to discuss some of Casey's results. More about this and more after we pay for the show by taking a commercial break. So sit, knead, purr, whatever you like. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Is your dog or cat prone to ear infections? Does your pet resist having his ears cleaned when they're inflamed or irritated? Are you also concerned about the overuse of antibiotics? Help is here. Zymox ear care products offer soothing relief, and you'll love this part. They don't require the ear to be cleaned before you apply the drops. It's just as easy as fill, rub, and done. That means less touching of those sensitive ears to help create a soothing, fear-free experience. And you only apply once a day. Here's another perk. Zymox, that's Z-Y-M-O-X, gets its effectiveness from enzymes, not antibiotics. You'll find these veterinary recommended products through your veterinarian, most pet specialty retailers, and online. To learn more, go to Zymox.com. That's Z-Y-M-O-X. Pause up.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest today is Anna Skaya. She is revolutionizing the pet world. She's the founder and CEO of a company called Basepaws. Basepaws is billed as the world's first at-home cat genetics test. Now, Anna, you grabbed my attention last spring at the Global Pet Expo in Orlando. I had the opportunity to sit in the audience and see your presentation about Basepaws, and it really piqued my interest. So can you just kind of briefly explain to our curious listeners what the heck is Basepaws and how does it work?
Absolutely. I love that you are in the audience. That is so cool that you saw me live.
I did.
So what you saw me, I was doing my catwalk. You catch that?
Yep.
So what Basepaws is doing is we're building a DNA testing platform for cats. It has not existed before we came on the scene 3 years ago. DNA testing has been done in university labs like UC Davis, mostly for breeders that were breeding different kittens, and they were looking for specific traits that pet owners wanted. But for you and I that have cats of our own that were shelter cats or found on the street, we wanted to have access to really interesting information about breed and health. That stuff wasn't available. But you know what? It was available for dogs, and it was definitely available for us humans. There was 23andMe, there was Ancestry.com.
Right.
So 3 years ago, when I started this company, I was shocked that Coco, my beautiful little kitten Coco, could not have a DNA test done. And I wanted to change that. So that was the original idea. We kicked this off here in Los Angeles 3 years ago. Spent about a year and a half just in our laboratory doing the science. Cat science is very different than dog science. There's a lot less that we know about cats. You were totally right. They are such a mystery. Genetically,
Right.
they're very much a mystery as well. They're just an underfunded, understudied species, specifically when it comes to their genetics. So we had to do an enormous amount of early work before we even had a product, before we even had that kit that you held in your hand. That kit launched last year. We had a few iterations. If your listeners have been following us, we used to have our very first version of that testing kit. And the way that worked is that we send you a piece of tape. So imagine this, you would receive, like right now you received a little swab.
Right.
Maybe you struggled a little bit and then you had to put it in your cat's mouth and, voila, and a little bit of misdirection. And maybe you got a little bit of DNA and that was fast. For most folks, it works out fine. But before that, we used to send you a piece of adhesive tape and you had to put that tape on your kitty's back.
Oh, great.
And then a lot of misdirection. And then you had to whisk it off, right? It was a little bit like waxing your cat, which not a lot of people were found really great. But, that was the original cat science. We were trying to extract DNA from the hair follicle. And there was just a lot of iteration and work. And we had so many amazing cat owners that offered to help. And there was so much citizen science that was going on in those early days. But now we're 3 years in and we have our latest product that probably you've used.
I did the swab.
Yep. And you did the swab and you survived to talk about it. Fantastic.
Well, Casey is a pet first aid cat. So you can do a capillary refill check on him and he'll purr. So I do a lot of handling with him. So we actually posted photos of him during the whole procedure and he got his reward of a treat. So he said, I'm in.
Oh, model cat. We've had folks send us pictures of scratches that they've received. Not great. But that's very rare. Most cats are totally fine with getting a little bit of a swab in their mouth.
Right.
It's the thing you do for science because you know what? Every single kitty that does this for themselves contributes to the rest of feline genetics and feline health because the more we know about each individual cat, the more we know about all cats in general. That's the beauty of this product for everybody because as we get thousands and thousands of cat customers, we start learning about genetics for all cats. I mean, ultimately, the whole point of Basepaws is we want to eliminate all the diseases that are tied to genetics. To do that, we have to learn which genetics, what DNA equals what disease. With cats, we just don't know that. We don't know that with a lot of humans and dogs either, but specifically with cats. And it makes me so sad. There's more cats than dogs in the United States, in the world too. And yet, why is it that I walk into a pet food store and the cat section is so tiny compared to the dog section? Why is it that when you look at the same thing in science, look at how many papers are coming out around feline health compared to canine health? 20-1. So I think
you're going to have to start the meow 2 movement. Get it?
Yes.
You can take
feline scientists of the world unite. Absolutely.
Well, and I know you know this, Anna, the American Association of Feline Practitioners, you just go to catvets.com, shares your passion and your mission in trying to get more information about cats. And the other thing about
I'm
cats,
a huge fan of them. Absolutely. Yeah. They're a great group.
The other thing is dogs will come up to you. They're more, they'll tell you when they don't feel good. And cats will tend to hide because they're both prey and predator. And so I'm just, we can do a lot for cats, but we just can't compare them as little dogs, right? Right.
So it's very true that, your kitty will not tell you that something is wrong until it's too late. I mean, half of our cats are overweight. So many cats are coming out to be obese year over year. I mean, 2 days ago, we had, National Obesity Days for pets.
Right.
We don't know these things until it's too late. So the fact that you now have something that you can do at home, we hate taking our cat to the vet. Coco in the car, oh my God, it's World War III. It doesn't happen. So the fact that we can actually do testing at home, I think is a really big deal in the pet space.
I agree.
In the cat space specifically.
And let's give a little 411 on Coco. Tell us how you got her. Well, you're the one who knows. You're the answer lady. You've done the test, I'm sure, using Basepaws. So tell us what your results have shown you about Coco and what her personality is like.
Sure. So I'll tell you something really interesting about Coco. So Coco came into my life about 4 years ago. She's a sassy lady. Everything in my life pretty much revolves around her. We call her our queen of the gene. She basically runs this company. If you go on our website under team, she is the first and the biggest picture. Everyone else is these tiny little headshots, and Coco's got, the throne. And she's just an awesome cat. And here's the funny thing about her. We came to know her as a kitten. She became this big cat. And so we did a DNA test on her, and the closest breed to her was a pretty small, kind of agile Abyssinian of a cat. And I'm like, What? Abyssinian? What is that? Well, we finally gave her a lion scut. We finally took all that fur off. And she is the tiniest, thinnest, most agile little kitten cat I've ever seen. When we actually took off the fur, it turns out the cat is really, really small. So you really don't know much about your cat until you do a DNA test. We thought we're like, oh, this cat must have a lot of Maine Coon, and look at her. No. Our Coco is a beautiful mixed breed cat. Thank God she's got no health issues. That was the one thing I was worried about.
Good.
She doesn't have any health issues, but she's a mixed breed cat. She's got some Abbey in her. She's got some American in her, American short hair. It was really fun when we were playing around with guess the breed when we finally got to know her breed. All those things are just a way for us to love our pets more. I mean, Coco lives in my house. She plays with my friends. She sleeps in my bed. She eats my food. I finally got to know her even closer than before through a DNA test. To me, that was just a really wonderful bonding experience with her.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Hey, everybody, we're speaking with Anna Skaya, and she is the creator and CEO of Basepaws, and that's BASEPAWS.com, because after the show, I want you guys to all dash over there. And I think you guys have a deal. If anybody hears this, sees this, and they put the discount code Arden, they save $10. What do you think about that? I know you're losing $10, but we're trying to help you out.
It's okay. We want more cats. We think every cat that joins our database saves all the other cats, so we're happy to give discounts.
And folks, we're going to talk to Anna in a minute, but we got to go and take a quick commercial break. So sit and purr. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
What's up, pet pals? It's Arden Moore, host of the O Behave Show. Is your fur baby experiencing symptoms of stress, anxiety? For example, is your dog cowering in fear of fireworks or loud noises, destroying clothing or furniture, doing some marathon barking, or experiencing major separation anxiety when you're away? Is your cat clawing furniture, being antisocial with the other felines in your home, or hiding in fear under the bed when company visits? If any of these sound all too familiar, there's a remedy that is literally music to your ears. I'm talking about whole tones, music specifically designed to produce healing sensations. But it's not just any kind of music. It's specifically tuned frequency music. The whole tone solution provides total peace for your pet without the nasty side effects of drugs and tranquilizers. It's safe, effective, and guaranteed to work or your money back. You will notice a positive difference in your pet. And if your pet is at peace, you can be at peace too. So just dash over to wholetonesforpets.com and use the promo code BEHAVE to receive $10 off. That's wholetonesforpets.com and promo code BEHAVE. Pause up. Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here to unleash some great health advice. It's time to be down in the mouth for the benefit of your dog and cat. Unleashing good oral care is one of the best ways to show love for your pet. Do you find brushing your pet's teeth challenging? Here is a terrific solution. Treat your dog to Oratine Brushless Oral Care. Oratine makes caring for your pet's oral health super easy. The difference is the enzymes. The advanced enzyme technology in Oratine works to freshen the breath. It eliminates bacteria, fungus, and yeast. Yuck. They also reduce plaque biofilm from accumulating on the teeth. And guess what? None of these products require actual brushing. Woohoo! You can choose from these 3 products. 1, a water additive that gives your pet the benefits of oral care with every lap of water. 2, a breath freshening spray with a gentle mister. Or 3, a brushless toothpaste gel you can apply with your finger. If your pet tolerates brushing, hey, you can always brush too. To learn more, visit Zymox.com, ZYMOX.com, and look under the oral care product line. Do it today.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Jen Davis, the creator of Garfield, urging you to listen to the Oh Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
Oh, yeah? We'll see about that.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and I'm having a great time. My brain is on fire because I have some great news. I even needed a little bit of a drum roll. I actually did a cheek swab on my cat, the orange tabby, Casey. You know him, pet safety cat Casey, with the Basepaws genetic kit, and the results are in. And so I want to have a little fun with you, Anna, so this is your company. I want to tell you some of the results. Well, like most cats that you save from the shelters and from the streets, he is a polycat. Now, you know what that fancy term means. Anna, just tell our listeners. What's a polycat?
Sure. So a polycat means that your cat is a mixed breed cat. There's lots of different breeds that it's closer to. But because we don't yet know, it's a mystery. A polycat means that you're a mixed breed kitty with lots of breeds inside of you that are all vying to be the number one breed. And the beauty of you being a part of the Basepaws family ecosystem is that your polycat percentage, the amount of polycat that your kitty has, will continue to change and drop and get smaller and smaller and smaller as we learn more about you.
Wow, so, that's pretty cool.
Yes, it's actually the whole point of this company is that as more kittens and cats come and join our family, our platform, we learn more about cats, learn more about breeds, and everybody's reports continue to change so that hopefully in a near future, we learn so much about cats that we really understand everybody's breed so well that the percentage of polycats, this unknown, gets smaller and smaller. As a polycat, that means it's a mixed breed kitty.
Yeah, and here's what I also like, folks. I did the cheek swab. It was very easy to follow. Put the items in the box, shipped it off to Basepaws, and the results came through my email. And what I like is not only did I get the results, but you give a lot of good information about how to interpret feline breeds, some health conditions and health markers. So you're also fortifying us with some more knowledge that could make us better cat pet parents, I guess.
Right. We want to not only provide you the breed information, but we want to make sure that you understand a lot about these breeds. So if your kitty has, if the top breed is a long-haired kitty and your kitty is a long-haired kitty, you're like, oh, you're making connections. You're seeing what long-haired kitties are all about. And we really want to educate you. The whole point of genetics is for you as a pet parent to really learn something new so that you can make better decisions when you buy something for them, when you feed them, when ultimately you take care of them health-wise. We're there for you to learn.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I was laughing because it says here, now let's talk about Casey. You all sequenced Casey's DNA, and from a little bit of spit, the sample, you guys were able to gather 1,707,370 DNA fragments were sequenced. All that for a little spit.
That's right. I mean, and it's different for every kitty. There's a lot of stuff that we do It took you probably 6 to 8 weeks to get your report. And it's because there's a lot of different steps that we have to do in our lab. We have our own laboratory here in Los Angeles, and every single bit of spit comes through tons and tons and tons of processing to get to have the final report.
Your folks are letting us know. And to me personally, that doesn't bother me because it's telling me that you're going to be very thorough. And for the background on Casey, just so you know, because he's going to be one of your champion cats, he is a very confident 5-year-old orange tabby. I adopted him as a kitten from the San Diego Humane Society. He's now known as Pet Safety Cat Casey, and he joins me and Pet Safety Dog Kona, and we teach veterinary-approved pet first aid and pet behavior classes all over the country. He's also a certified therapy cat, and we visit folks in memory care centers. We call them the Brookdale Buddies. And we teach kids at like SPCA critter camps. He walks on a leash. He rides in a stroller. He does a high paw. We kind of call him also feline George Clooney because the ladies love him and the dudes do too. He thinks all dogs are cool. And I just wanted to let you know that there was always that mystery about him, but his personality is so full. And I know, environment plays a factor. He's traveled to 13 states in cars and planes, and he's a trooper. But I know you guys I've been kind of keeping, here comes the drum roll. Here is the results of Casey's Basepaws findings. Yep, he's a polycat. We know that. But his DNA indicates he has a lot of Siberian in him, along with Burmese, American Shorthair, and Abyssinian. And as for wild cats, Casey is most similar to the cheetah, followed by the cougar. Me? Wow. What do you think of that, Anna?
Wow. First of all, I'm such a fan of Casey. What a cool cat.
He is awesome.
Stroller. He walks on a leash and he high fives.
Yep.
I'm a big fan.
And he has his own business card. And in March, we're going to come out with a book. My 28th pet book is coming out called A Kid's Guide to Cats. And throughout the pages, there are little sidebars with Casey talking one-on-one with kids. He's a friggin' celebrity.
That is really awesome. So let me just make a little comment really quick. So you mentioned Siberian. Siberians are really cool cats. They're super friendly and they're super social. And
that's what he has most of. Yeah.
So that to me probably seems like everything you told me about Casey sounds like that kind of cat. They're very easygoing. They're the ones. I think the Siberian is the George Clooney's of the cat world.
There you go. You go.
to me, that is the kind of cat that has a really easygoing, independent but cool vibe to it. They're friendly. They're intelligent. So I could totally see Casey as that. But listen, I think the most important thing that you said to me is that he's a polycat. He is close to multiple different breeds. He probably has a lot of different personalities. I mean, you also mentioned Abby. I mean, Abyssinian cats are
American Shorthair and Burmese. Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of different things that you've mentioned, and I don't have the report in front of me, but I could imagine how it probably goes. So if the Abby is probably the second closest after the Siberian. The Abby is known as the dog of the cat world, So, I mean, Casey, to me, you just explained to me a very cool cat.
Yep.
Casey is the opposite of Coco. Miss Coco, the Gene Queen, does not high five. She looks at you and she will not come over and high five you. Okay,
but Casey would work his charm on her. He's a ladies' man, so maybe she'd like him. He doesn't have any equipment, but they can be friends. That's okay.
Oh yeah, sure. She can learn a thing or two. But I try to get Coco to be on the leash. I'm very jealous of those people that can do that. And no.
Well, and it depends on the cat. I did write the cat behavior answer book, so I better know what I'm doing. But let's talk a little bit about, because what also is intriguing, listeners, with the Basepaws kit, not only do you kind of find out what your polycat or mixed breed cat has more of in the world of domestic cats, but you talk about the wild cats. And Casey is more similar to the cheetah, which brings up a joke. Do you know why cats don't play poker in the jungle, Anna?
Why?
Because there's too many cheetahs. But what motivated, inspired you to also show them their wild side?
So let's talk about the wildcats. The wildcats is something that we will continue to explore and do more of. We have worked with the San Diego Zoo. We have worked with other organizations to try to get samples of these wildcats, and we have sequenced them ourselves, and we compare the samples of your kitties to these samples of these cats. So every cat has come through the same generations and matches the species and the genuses of cats and other animals the same way. But if you align all the cats in our database, if you look at every single cat in our database and you look at the cheetah genetics, there are some kittens and cats that are slightly closer to the cheetah, for example, than others. This is quite similar to how in the human genetics, there is the 23andMe has something called the Neanderthal Index. We're all the same. We have the same connection to the Neanderthal, but some of us are a little bit more connected or a little bit closer genetically to the Neanderthal than others. And in 23andMe, they actually have that as part of your report. So we're doing something similar here, except that we're looking at different wildcats, and we're doing the same thing. We're doing these kind of connections. We would like to expand on these reports. We'd like to actually get to know each cat as it relates to the cougar and the cheetah and the leopard and the tiger and all of the others. It's a lot of work for us to understand how that works. Right now, I think we're just scratching the surface. Ultimately, we would like to just better understand, and we'd like to, I think, just raise the awareness of these larger cats. Unfortunately, it is very rare that we think about them and how they relate to the house cat. I just think it'll be really lovely for all of us as owners and pet parents of house cats to remember that there is a relationship to the wild cats. So part of this report and part of our whole story as Basepaws is also education about cats in general, wild cats specifically too.
Well, and before we leave, we do want to catch, this is a 2-part test, guys. Not only do you get to see if your cat's part cheetah or a Siberian like Casey is, but it also does a health marker report. It's kind of a one-on-one of your cat's genetics. And you're going to be looking for different things that are more genetically prone in cats. We're talking like polycystic kidney disease or hyperthyroidism. And I'm very grateful that my results for Casey is he got it all clear for all the various health markers, and there are a number of them. That doesn't mean you stop going to the veterinarian, right?
No, not at all. But there, like, for example, you mentioned PKD. There are things that are really important for us as pet parents, like PKD, that are genetic. Knowing whether or not you have a risk for them is really important. It used to be that you could only do it through a university type of a laboratory where you would have to go to someplace like UC Davis where you would do that as a one-off test. Now you can do that as part of your Basepaws report. It is a very helpful, very useful report to do. I highly recommend for all of us as pet owners to have those health reports done. It is peace of mind, and if something does come up as positive, it's much better to know early on so you can take care of your pet early on with the right information.
No, I totally agree. And Casey gets twice a year checkups, and he also, because he does travel a lot, we really do we have a very good relationship with our veterinarian, and he's one of those cats that actually purrs on the table. So I don't know. I think I got lucky. What do you think, Anna?
I am impressed. I want
you to meet him. Maybe we should figure this out.
Yes, I want to know what these genetics are.
If we get out to LA, because he does fly well, I would love him to meet your team because he's really making a difference being a pet health and safety coach and a therapy cat. So he has to earn his kibble, Anna.
Coco would love a therapy cat. I think Coco is the one that needs therapy the most. I do want to mention one thing. Some of your listeners might have seen a version of Coco that was on Shark Tank a few months ago.
Yeah,
Coco does also get out of her shell in a way. So if your listeners do watch Shark Tank, I highly recommend. We were in last season 10, episode 21. If you want to see what a slightly larger version of Coco would look like if Coco was a suit, we've got
how did you get past all the gatekeepers to even pitch your product to the sharks?
Sure. It wasn't easy. It took us about 6 months. We had to make an enormous amount of pitches and videos. And my original concept was, of course, involving Coco. I purchased a lot of shark costumes for pets. Yes, those exist, especially around Halloween.
That's smart.
And then I try to get Coco in those costumes. Not very smart. And I did manage to, and we pitched the idea of putting my cat into a shark costume, and it got us on the show. The idea was really funny, but it did not. Ultimately, we couldn't really get her to participate, so we had to get another person. We got a cat suit and a person in a cat suit, which was actually really funny. But the producers really love the idea of pet products. Mm-hmm. And I encourage any of your listeners who are founders and entrepreneurs and are building companies in the pet space, and I'm sure you have tons of those, really look at Shark Tank as a channel for getting the word out about your product, because I think I read somewhere that pet products are one of the top categories for Shark Tank. And it's because it's something that we all love. I mean, almost 3/4 of all Americans have a pet. It's an obvious one. But what wasn't obvious was specifically cat products.
Absolutely.
Almost everything on Shark Tank before Basepaws was dog related. We were one of the first ones that were for cats. And I think that actually is what helped us get on there. They loved the idea. They loved the fact that we were the first ones, and they really specifically liked that we were a cat product. I won't tell you who invested in us, but I will say that person is not who you think. That person is not a cat lover, but we are working really hard to make that person a cat lover.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. Folks, I've been speaking with Anna Skaya. She is the founder and CEO of Basepaws. Go to basepaws.com after the show. You want to know what your cat's really made out of? What's going on with his or her health? I know a lot of us have done things like, Ancestry.com. Let's do something for our cats. Let's get a kit, a Basepaw kits. And Anna, I know if they put Arden, Arden, in a code at purchase, they're going to get $10 off. But you want to tell them a little bit about the price and any more about your website?
That's right. So it's a $99 product, and with a discount right now, you'll get it for $89, which is kind of awesome. And you can get it on basepaws.com, basepaws.com.
All right.
And the reason it's called Basepaws, it's base pairs, like the DNA base pairs, and the paws of your favorite little kitten.
There you go. I was going to ask you that earlier. All right. Well, from my cat, pet safety cat, Casey, to your cool cat, Miss Sassy, Queen of the Jeans, Coco, I think, and all the cats in between, I salute you for what you're trying to do to take away some of that mystery in our cats and do what you can to arm pet folks with knowledge so that they can keep their cats at their healthy best, Anna. So I really do appreciate you being on the show.
Awesome. I love being on the show. Thank you for having me.
You even like my cheetah joke, huh?
I did. I'm going to use that one.
You can. All right, guys. At this time, I also want to give a big paws up to our producer, Mark Winter. He is the wizard of paws. As you know, Pet Life Radio is the #1 pet radio network on the planet. And humbly, our show, Oh Behave, has been on the air 11 years. We're a 5-time podcast award finalist, and some lady named Oprah has named our show one of her top favorite pet podcasts, top 3, for 2 years in a row. So we're very honored about that. And until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.